afternoon. Well, it's afternoon here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's also 106 degrees with 7% humidity. Now you have the weather forecast. And I am drinking a nice dark black cup of hot coffee. People at work think I'm crazy, but I just don't think there's any bad time of year to drink hot coffee. I do like a good iced coffee every now and then, but I like just, if it's a good coffee, good black coffee. So what I want to do today is I love this. This is from The Universe Has Your Back, and it's just fun. I don't use it for serious work, but if there's a day I'm feeling kind of glum and I've already done my soul searching and journaling or whatever I'm going to do around that, then I'll pull one of those cards. And it just, why not? Makes me happy. All right, so back to what I was saying. We got all sorts of, well, it's not really a deck haul, but decks I have, well, maybe it is. I've just gotten through trading some decks, so I have some new decks on trade to me. They're not new decks, new to me. And then I had a credit at Amazon, and I had a credit at Etsy. And so those things all sort of converged at one time. And so I've got a few decks I just want to show you right now. I'm not going to do a lot of discussion on any of them, but I do have walkthroughs planned, and a few of them a deeper discussion and some plans for the future. So deck haul, future walkthrough videos, and then future deep dive videos is what's coming up now. All right, so with that being said, let's get into it. One deck I thought was out of print, the Efflorescent Tarot. It is not, and it's back in print, I should say, because it was out of print. Because as soon as I saw it on the Hermit's Cave, I knew, and they sent this beautiful little sticker with it. I think this goes to one of their Oracle decks. It's an image from one of their Oracle decks. It's really pretty. I don't want to put it on anything yet because I don't want to use it. But the box is beautiful. The inside, everything about this deck is very well done and beautiful. And the artwork for each one of these, the gilding. I'm a sucker for gilding as long as it doesn't have sparklies on it, like glitter gilding or things like that. Some people do. That's fine. It's just not my thing. But the artwork is beautiful, beautiful. I think they're watercolors, if I'm not mistaken. And the creator is self-publishing right now. And so she was, I had the wrong address for some reason. When I went to purchase it, it put an old address from our condominium before we sold it and bought our house. It had that on it, and then they were wonderful to work with to make sure that was updated, and it made a little bit more legwork for them because they had to go to the post office and do a manual label instead of just printing a label. It was just, they were so wonderful. I wanted to give you the artist's name if I can think of it really quick, and I was hoping it would be right here, but it's not. But they were both. She's doing it herself with her friend. They're in it together, and or they are both the artist and the writer. But they were just wonderful to work with, wonderfully beautiful people. Oh, Olivia Mercury Pepper, and I can't remember the other person's name, but look it up. Beautiful deck. I highly recommend it. They are looking for, last I heard, a publisher, and why they haven't been picked up, I don't know. The next two are decks that were introduced to me by Ina. Well, one of them was Ina at Taproot Tarot. I love listening to her talk. I can listen to her talk all day long. If I'm doing something else, I could put a video of hers online. I had never heard of this country. I'd never heard of, there are a lot of countries I don't know, but I'd never heard of this company, Deveki. Le Tarot de Vecchi, and this is by Laura Twan. Now, I did read an article, maybe not an article, but a little clip on her the other day. Laura Twan writes the books, so she is not the artist for the books that have her name on them. Some of these were in prep before, and as you see, this is a Tarot de Marseilles. Well, it just says Le Tarot. So I don't think this is, I think this is the Soprafino, isn't it? But just a few of the cards. I love this deck. I will talk more about the card stock. It is that art paper type cardstock. Some people don't like it. They are larger. I think more typically what cards would have been originally. I think. You know, for more on that, I really should watch more of Marilyn's from, not my friend Marilyn from Tarot Take, but I'll think of it in a second. But she just has wonderful videos, all things Marseille and early decks, not just Marseille, but she is really a historian, and the Egyptian tarot. So this is wonderful. And then I just found the Celtic, the Druid, and I can't think of the name of the other one. The Celtic and the Druid. And then I have a couple more in my cart. I'm just like going through and snapping up these Devecchi decks that I really like because they aren't making them anymore. And Trick, I'm probably going to, well, I hope this doesn't affect the market because I still haven't gotten all the ones I want. But if you go to Etsy in the US and you look for Le Tarot Devecchi, and it's LESTROTDEVECCHI, then you will find their decks on Etsy, a few of them, but they're $100 or more. I go to Amazon, and if you click your account name and go up to the top, you'll see you can change the country you're in. And so I've shopped in Germany and France and Italy, and it's just opened up a whole new world of decks and publishers that I didn't know about. It's really fascinating, but that's a lot of fun. It's kind of like going down a rabbit hole. The next one, and these are in no certain order, but the next one I'm going to be doing is the Baddeley Tarot. Now, I was wonderfully fortunate to get this in a trade with Marilyn at Marilyn's Tarot Take. And so this is a deck I'd been wanting for a long time. You know, it was perfect time. It was perfect. You know, she wasn't going to get into it and do heavy work with it yet. She did think about it because I think she likes this deck. But I had one that she wanted. She had one I wanted, and it just worked out well. And the book, I would say the book is excellent. If you are the type of person that likes getting down dirty into, say, the esoteric aspects or the historical aspects or the symbolism or the correspondences, even if you don't use, it's like I don't use a lot of that in my readings when I do readings, but I like knowing it. I like reading about it. It fascinates me. So the book is excellent for that. I will say the one criticism that I have heard consistently from people who buy this deck is the artwork is gorgeous. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get clear focus on that. The artwork is gorgeous, but it's a standard size tarot size, and then it has a large top border and a thick bottom border. And the comments I've heard, and I agree, is if this image could be larger. So maybe if this were oracle sized, or there's some by US Games and Hay House that aren't oracle sized, but I think they're instead of 2.75, they're like 3 point something, and then it just gives you more of a landscape for the artwork. So just to make the image larger so you can see the minute detail. The symbolism and everything is there. You can see it. You can see what it is. But the detail in the artwork is always really nice to see. And we miss that sometimes. I did get with it this journal. And the only reason I got the journal is because it is just a journal. It has a little bit of writing at the front like they all do, and it has places to write. But in the journal, for each page, it has a full page image. You can see how large this is. It's almost 8. It's not 8.5, but well, it might be 8.5 by 11. I don't think so, but so it's whatever the standard size is for this size journal. But it's full size image and of all the cards, so they're all in here. And so anytime I want to look at one, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, and as I work with it, I will, when I draw a card, I will come over here and make all the notes on it about the symbolism, everything I want to know about that card, and have a little brief here. So then this will be because the book has it all in here, but it's broken down by different sections, and then the idea is that you would use that knowledge to read the card. So all that knowledge isn't like right here on this page, but that's how I'll study it, and that's how I'll learn it. So that's fun. Okay. The next one, the CBD Tarot de Marseille. You've seen it, you've heard about it. I was on the fence about it, found it for a super cheap price, had a credit, and so here we are. And I will tell you, this cardstock, and this is made in China. Who printed? Oh, it's US Games. Yeah, that's what I thought. US Games. It doesn't. Maybe it is regular US Games cardstock, but it doesn't feel like it's like, to me, it's like smoother or something. It's just a little bit different, and I love it. I love the size. The size of it's like the 1JJ Swiss. Very nice. So it reminds me of that a lot. And I didn't think I would like it because of the white background, because even on camera right now, it looks super white, and these colors, they're really bold. The colors are rich, and they're there, but in person, this white is not glaringly as white. To me, it really looks more like a very, very, very pale eggshell. So it's not as in your face as I thought it would be. So I was very happy about that. So I will be going through this one when I'm talking about, I'm going to go back to my Marseille talks. I did one, and I said I was going to do more, and I'm going to. And this is the deck I'll use when I do that. One of the decks. The next deck is from Magical Omaha. I can't say enough about this. It came with a little sticker, which is beautiful. I don't know where that is right now. I know I put it up. It's probably in a book. But like it's on Facebook, if you want to go look at them, they're right there. I'll make that clear so you can get it. But William, thanks so much. Enjoy, blessings, and then their name. But just beautiful. And I thought it was coming from a singular person. I didn't know it was, but came super quick. And it was on sale from them. So I don't know if they just had some they weren't moving, but it was brand new. It was in saran wrap. I opened the deck. It was in beautiful saran wrap. But the saran wrap wasn't beautiful, but it was beautifully packaged and very well packaged. This deck, I cannot say enough. The size of the cards. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is not standard. It's almost standard, but it's a little bit wider. Maybe just a tiny bit taller, but it's not oracle sized. But this cardstock is matte. And I just can't even describe how it feels, but you hear that? It's just beautiful. It slides well, it shuffles well, and I'll do, when I do this one, I'm going to do a very, probably more than one video on it, because this book, this little book right here, has so much information in it. It is incredible. I have like maybe 2 or 3 decks, the Philarcos Tarot, and there's one other one I think that has a little white book that has more in it than any book this size should have in it. And he just does such a good job with this. If I need backup, I do have his other books, which do discuss this as one of the decks he talks about in those books. But we will get more into that when I do a walkthrough, and then when I go back and do more of a deep dive with it, because I am going to do that. Then the Tea Leaves Tarot, another trade. Just very fortunate, right place, right time. I do love this deck. I love the artwork, the gentleness of it. This would be a deck maybe when I'm feeling on a day that I'm bruised. The only thing I would have to say about it is the cardstock. The cardstock is not itself bad, but it's a lot of structure, I think, from the lamination, which is interesting to me because it's schiffer, And usually, I don't know if they normally have this type, but it's glossy, as you can see. But the images, I mean, you know, come on, the beautiful colors. And then look how this artist took the leaf, made it the background, and then put the images there so you know what's going on. But just absolutely very well done. And it just reminds me so much of fall in some ways, but yet the colors are spring. So maybe it's that space between fall and spring where we're still raking up leaves, but buds are coming out. I don't know, it's just pretty. I don't know how else to say it. It's just pretty. But I'll do a walkthrough. This won't be a deep dive. This will be a walkthrough. I've only got 2 or 3 decks I really want to get deep into and maybe share with you. It'll be a Marseilles series, Tarot Egyptians, and that's the Deveki deck, the Tarot and the Egyptians, because the book with that is phenomenal with the details and the symbolism. The Badley Tarot. So there's that. Then I have Fyodor Pavlov's Tarot, and just artwork, phenomenal. I'll do a walkthrough of this. Cardstock, very much like Curious Travelers Tarot. The whole box treatment, the box, the cards, the book, the whole thing, very much Curious Travelers, but this artwork is phenomenal. And I can't wait to get into that. I've already used some of these decks because I kept thinking I was going to do a walkthrough, and you know, right now I'm trying to do 1 video a week. And so 1 video a week based on what I have, it's just going to take time. The Next World Tarot, we know it, we've seen it, most of us really like it. The book, I like the fact that if they were going to do a book, at least with this version, that they left more room for text by leaving out the images, if that's what they needed to do, because I have the images here on the cards. This is the large version. I specifically wanted the large version. This I got on a trade. But these cards, oh my god. I'm not going to go through many, but just look at this artwork and the variation of peoples and body types and skin types and public life and their jobs and their it's just emotional. I mean, it just hits. It's like these are real people. These are people we see every day running around. And so we'll get more into this when I do a walkthrough. But I love these larger cards. This is the type of card I would pull a card. I know some people do a weekly draw. I'd pull a card for the week, pull a card for the day. This would be one I would use this for one of those two probably because they're so large. But then you pull one card, and it's not so difficult. And then you have that to look at, meditate on the day. How does this reflect me? How do I reflect it? The Tarot of Oz, Tarocle of Oz. Now this is the only Tarot of Oz or Oz-based deck that I wanted, and it's because it is based in the books. When I was little, my little school library, as small as it was, had the first 8, I think it's the first 8 original books. I read every single one of those straight through. And all of these characters are from the book series, the original book series. And I remember them so well. I remember that each one of the original characters, you know, the Lion, Scarecrow, the Tin Woodsman, they were the rulers of their lands, sort of like in the Oz Empire. I remember there's one lady in here that's very interesting. Let's see if I can find her really quick. Oh yeah, then they go Aunt M and whatever her uncle's name is. I can't remember his name. but they go to Oz to live with her at the end. And of course, I'm not gonna, and these are rose petals, so I can't just. So just give me a second. I'll find. Oh, this guy's funny in the books, if I remember correctly. The wooden horse. I remember him. He was a good character. Anyway, it's a lady that has a lot of heads, and in the card she's headless, but in the book she's headless. But it's funny because I think it's a play on women or men who wear wigs, and they do that to change their style and personality. And she would get up in the morning and here it is right here. Her big conundrum for the day was, who did she need to be for what she had to face in the day? It's wonderful. So but right up there with the Tarot of Pooh, or the Wisdom of Pooh Tarot, because this gives me the same vibes. Reminds me of when I was that little boy. And watching those shows. This one I got. Okay, so I had several trades because I went to my local trade shop. There's a local shop here called Fantasia Crystals, and they have, I think it's the largest tarot selection in the Southwest, but definitely Arizona. And they do buy, sell, and used decks. So if I have decks I'm looking at and go take them in, they give me a store credit in the form of a gift card, and I can purchase decks. This is a deck. That's where this is where a lot of these came from. So this is Tarot de Marseille, the box, and I'll do a full walkthrough of this one. It's really interesting, but I'd never seen it, and it's a small card. And I don't know if this was the original size, and I have this in another version, but I don't have it like this. And the cardstock is very much feels like U.S. Games. It's not, but that's what it feels like. The square corners I've gotten on these older decks, these sort of this is a facsimile deck, to just love the square corners. I know that they're pokey for some people, and I'm sorry about that. But thank God for corner rounders, right? But I've just gotten to where I just love the aesthetic of it, love the look of it. Well, it is the aesthetic, isn't it? And I just think it's different. So this is what I'll be excited to go through. I don't know anything about this deck. I tried to look up information on it. There's not very much written on the publication of it, but I'm very happy to have it. If you do know something about this particular deck, I know it was done in 2016, and it's a Noble. And I do know the guy's name that wrote it. I don't have it right here, but yeah, if you know something more about this deck, trivia, whatever, you put it in the comments. It's awesome. I'd love to know that. Okay. Now, this next one is interesting because it's more about the book than it is the deck. This book, of course, by Liminal 11, and you may have seen it. I found it at my used bookstore card trade shop, and I will go more into this book because I'll make several videos about it. But each card has a poem written about the card, but it's not a traditional poem. It's a poem that really hits you in your soul and your heart, and it really speaks to the essence of the card, the numeration of the card, the sort of soul, if you will, of a card. And it was written years before this deck came out. But when Liminal 11 published it, they paired it with this deck to use the artwork for this book. No problem with that. It's a beautiful book. But reading through it, I began to realize that this poetry was not written for these images. Doesn't bother me because I love this artwork. And it gives you a reference, something to look at. But the writing is going to give you a sense of an idea, a feeling of Marseilles or Pip's decks more so than this, because the writing does not reflect an RWS style. And that is because the author is French, Joseph Michel Sobrer, and I'll get more into him. But anyway, it's really touched me. It has. It's one of those things that hits me deep inside, and it's almost something that I use for. If you are a Christian or a prior Christian or some type of religious, then you would know, like a devotion, morning devotion, evening devotion, morning prayer books, hourly prayers. That reminds me of this, and that's how I use it, because that's where it hits me. And then I bought the deck, same sort of trade thing, to go with the book. And this was kind of on my list anyway, but I got this for $9 with my trade. So, yeah. But the book itself, we're going to go through that. And I haven't decided quite how I want to do that yet, but I want to do it in a way that respects the author and the author's original intent, and that he's deceased, and that really respects his wife, who, after reading some from her on her website, she just seems like a lovely person. This is from Martin's Musings. He didn't make it, but I saw him show it. And it lines up with some of that inner soul-searching child work I've done for maybe the past, I don't know how many years. And I'm reading the book first. I'm going back and looking at some of the cards as I do, but I'm not going to do this deck until I work through the deck some more and figure out how I want to talk about it, because it's not a typical tarot deck. It is really for going deep into yourself, reflective work. Now, you can use it however you want to, but it does not, the images do not automatically draw up an RWS field. And so some of the first walkthroughs I saw of that, you see here I've drawn a card for the day. Some of the images that, walkthroughs I saw that men were going through it, all of a sudden were like, oh, I don't know, that card doesn't really mean that to me. That one doesn't mean that to me. But they were relating it to the RWS, and then when they started reading the book or the description of the deck, they began to see that that was not necessarily the point. I'll do this just to show the artwork and not talk about the cards, but the artwork is stunning. The color, the printing, everything about it is absolutely beautiful. You can buy the deck. Well, you do buy the deck and book separately. I would recommend, if you're going to get the deck, get the book. And if you don't get the deck, get the book. The book by itself, standalone, is great. If you have this work to do or want to do that sort of inner journey work, self-reflective, and I just love the way she puts it in the introduction. She talks about rewilding the tarot. What does it look like in the wild? How do we take it and put it back to its natural state? Just interesting take on it. The book, it does have the images in it, but you will see it is a lot of text, and it does have a description at the end of the writing, but the writing itself is center stage. Just a beautiful book. Great for sort of self-growth work. After that, I think we have two more. Celtic Spirit. Got this on my trade, on my last trade Baganza. When I went to my bookstore, beautiful deck. I the Fantasia Crystals I told you I go to. It's in Phoenix. It is on Bell Road, which is in the north part of Phoenix. It's actually in a small community called Deer Valley. But it's just the book is great. The book goes into more of the symbolism. It comes with a spread cloth. And then I just want to go through a few of the cards so you get an idea for the artwork. But I love this deck. But they actually have a copy of every deck they sell open. And so I had been on the fence about this one. But because I was able to go in their shop and look at the open deck and hold it and feel the cards, that told me right there I wanted to buy it. But they have whatever they have. If they have 5 on the shelf, the first one in front is a sample copy. It has that taped on it, and it's open. And you can take it off the shelf and look through it. Brilliant. I know that other stores can't. All stores can't do that, especially really small shops. This is not a large store, but they have quite the collection, so I can imagine the volume they do is probably more than your typical corner shop. But and the cardstock is matte. It's not linen, but it moves like linen, and the backs are gorgeous. The gilding, the screen, oh, it's killing me. Anyway, this will be another one I'll like to do work with. Looking forward to that. The only thing I'll say about this deck, and this is true for a lot of decks, is this cloth is so beautiful. And you see how the color variation here? Gorgeous. The Celtic knots on the sides. I mean, I know it's all print. It's nothing that cost them $1 million to make or anything. But then you open it up, and it has the Celtic cross front and center. And I wish people that use Celtic cross all the time don't need this. People that don't use Celtic cross, moi, doesn't need this. They could have put a beautiful Celtic cross in the center and called it a day, and it would have been beautiful. I just wish, but most card makers that make decks and have a reading cloth with it will have a Celtic cross on it, and I don't understand that when the cloth would be so beautiful without it. Because if you are going to do a Celtic cross, you've pretty much got it memorized. And if you're learning how to do the Celtic cross, it's not rocket science. It's like setting up a game board, really. Okay, what do I have? I have Call of the Morgan. This is one that has been on my list for quite a while. And I had this before then because I saw these oracles, Old Ways Magic Oracle, and fell in love with this artwork. Now this I ordered from UK. This is typically not sold in shops. And I've had this one for a while. I wasn't really going to do a walkthrough of it. I don't know why. It's beautiful. The artwork is otherworldly, but then at the same time it's also very grounded and earthy. Oh, gee, gorgeous. Look at that bear. I love it when they do the animals. It's not just the animal. It's like all this other stuff going on behind it that pulls into it. And so when I did my last trade and I really cleared out some decks, I got a nice little chunk of credit. And I was able to get Call of the Morgan. So just keep in mind that I didn't just go out and spend $1 million. I went through and cleaned out my stash and got rid of things that I wasn't even looking at or using anymore. Things I thought I wanted but knew I wouldn't. And then some things I bought used for $2 or $3 at another shop and went there and traded them for more. Because the shop that was selling them didn't know the value. This deck is gorgeous. And the book is very useful. The only thing I'll say, this is supposed to be where you set it up and you can slip a card in this slot here. The cardboard on this is not so thick, so it's kind of, it's already a bit dented from when I opened it. I'm not worried about that. I wouldn't use it anyway. But the lid won't stay open anyway. So I don't know how that's supposed to work. I'm going to redo this. I'm going to get, I have some sort of a wood working area in the garage, and I have all the tools and everything, so I want to make a piece to put in here to hold the cards in. So I'm going to make it myself and fix the box, because the box itself, the outer box, everything about that's gorgeous, and I do want to use it, and I do want the cards to live here. But I will go through this in a walkthrough. I will discuss the book in more detail, but the book has great ideas on how to use it. Different ritual practices, different spells, all those sorts of things. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I think that... Oh, I had one more thing I want to show you. Not a deck. If you have any interest in history and Egyptian history and the ancient world, this book is excellent. It's on the city of Alexandria. It has Alexander the Great, but it also goes through the founding of Alexandria, how it was built. It focuses more on the world around it and how it came to be, the powers that be, the cultures, how they intermingled. But it is written in such a way, the narrative is not dry. It's not like reading an encyclopedia. If you have any interest in sort of the Egyptian, esoteric, those historic decks, even from the imagery and the art, just a good book to read. It tells you how all this developed, not the tarot, but the culture. And I find it fascinating. And the author, Islam Isa, grew up in Alexandria, or Egypt, but I believe he grew up in Alexandria because it's still there. So, wonderful book. Check it out. You know, if you do Audible or ebooks or whatever, download the sample. Give it a shot. Love this book. Anyway, that is it for today. Do you think that's enough? I don't know. Tell me in the comments. I think it's enough. But we're going to have some fun. So I'm not going to be doing a lot of new decks, needless to say. But I am going to be doing some series. Marseilles, the Poet's Tarot book, based on the with the accompanying artwork of the Luna Soul, not based on, but the artwork of the Luna Soul accompanies it, and the Soul Tarot, and Call to Morrigan. So I might try to do more than one video a week, and maybe I'll put up. In fact, I will. I'm going to try to figure out. I will figure it out how to put these in a series, so you know what you're looking at. So there's not too much in any one thing, and you can watch a little bit at a time if you want. But this has been great. This has been fun. I had fun. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're looking forward to what I'm going to be offering soon. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining. I do have just over 100 viewers. I had 100 and I looked the other day at 117 subscribers. And I'm not doing any push. I'm not saying like go out, pull people in. I am just so thankful that if it were 2 people, I would be thankful that what I am saying has value to you. That really is a wonderful thing. Thank you. Have a great evening, afternoon, morning, middle of the night, wherever you are, whatever time it may be. And I will see you next time.